It all feels like harmless fun, but our online lifestyles have begun to make a real impact in our offline worlds, a trend that doesn't seem to be reversing. In 2014, Facebook talked with lenders about the possibility of linking profiles to credit scores, and one recent survey showed that 40% of college admission officers now say they peruse applicants' social media profiles in addition to evaluating GPAs and essays. From New York Times. Social media tends to reward those who share the most, which means we tend to see way more from certain people than we want to see. You probably already know what I mean, and have seen it in your own feeds, as friends, co-workers and complete strangers faithfully transcribe their inner monologues in a never-ending stream. Even those who make a living in the public eye aren't immune to the perils of oversharing. On the contrary, two recent examples come to mind. Jennifer Weiner, a very successful author by any measure, her 2002 book, In Her Shoes, was made into a movie starring Cameron Diaz, recently wrote an embarrassingly long diatribe on Facebook blasting Oprah for not selecting her latest novel for her book club. And the rapper The Game has posted obscene, near-nude selfies on Instagram that emphasize an enormous bulge in his underwear that may or may not be photoshopped. There's nothing necessarily wrong with either example, but they each clearly underline the ways that social media has stripped away our ability to tell what is okay to share and what is not. It's not just that watching people vie for your attention can feel gross. It's also that there's a fine line between appearing savvy online and appearing desperate. In high-definition contrast, let's look at Beyonce for a moment. Unless televised live performances count, she has never live-streamed a day in her life. She rarely gives interviews. So what we know is scraped from her social media presence, which isn't much. I can't tell you what outfit and hairstyle Beyonce posted on social media last week, but I couldn't tell you where in the world she was, what the inside of her house looks like, or even which continent her primary residence is on. Her images tend not to be location tagged, or even look as if they were taken with a cell phone. I couldn't tell you who took the photos of her, because, unlike most celebrities, Beyonce rarely posts selfies. I have no idea who comes to her pool parties, if she has a pool or has ever been to a pool party. I couldn't guess what she wears to bed. And yet, when I speak about her, it's as if we've been attached at the hip since birth. I feel, very intimately, that I know her. Beyonce's feed is the rice cake of celebrity social media feeds, low in caloric content but mystifyingly satisfying. Most people treat social media like the stage for their own reality show, but Beyonce treats her public persona more like a Barbie. She offers up images and little more, allowing people to project their own ideas, fantasies and narratives about her life onto it. Take, for example, her response after a video leaked of her sister, Solange, attacking Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z, in a hotel elevator. Rather than posting rapid-fire tweets explaining the whole thing, Beyonce simply posted a series of photographs of herself and her sister having fun, quelling any rumors of a rift. This logic extends to her creative work too. Earlier this year, she spent an entire album, Lemonade, stoking rumors of marital strife with Jay-Z. Lines like "You're gonna lose your wife" seemed to confirm that her once dreamy relationship was on the rocks. The release of that album felt cathartic, an answer to questions about her personal life that her fans had been obsessing over for months. But then, before the fervor over that album faded, news of another album leaked, this time, a duet album with her husband. In a single calendar year, Beyonce managed to reveal what seemed to be a lifetime's worth of secrets and pain, without it being clear whether she had revealed anything at all. If anything, that only made people want more. Conventional wisdom casts Beyonce as a control freak, and perhaps she is, but control isn't such a bad thing. Lately, I've been thinking about her bifurcated self in the context of somewhat forgotten cyber-feminist theory. In the 1980s, academics believed that technology would introduce profound changes for humankind, especially women. Anna Haraway, Emerita Professor of the History of Consciousness and Feminist Studies at the University of California, Santa Cruz, and an inspiration for cyberfeminism, wrote that new technologies could liberate women from patriarchy and other oppressive systems. In the distant future, she believed, people could assume virtual bodies, allowing for permanently partial identities that could exist beyond gender, beyond reproach and without limits. The Internet preserved many of the same biases and hierarchies Haraway so desperately hoped we could escape. And there are no true cyborgs yet. But social media has, in its own way, provided us a means of generating other selves. We just haven't yet learned to set them free. Beyonce has. In her own way. The Beyonce we follow seems to live and breathe, and provokes a real emotional reaction. It's an illusion that feels intimate and real, a hologram self for us to interact with that, in theory, provides the actual Beyonce space to exist away from our prying eyes.